Welcome to CARE Current Affairs Reverse Engineering. This is launched by KPIAS Delhi and also available at our regional centers Shamshabad and also Hyderabad campus. And coming to our program, we have launched Upsc, which is also incorporating this CARE as part of your daily routine. So, it can save your time and energy in the form of selection of articles and also inferring right content which is relevant content for UPSC from the given articles. Okay. And in the form of MCQs and associated PYQs, definitely it can align your mind on the lines of UPSC. And coming to our first article, the first article is about Nobel Prize in physics for finding a way to see electrons. What is this article talking about? Let us come to the MCQ, it can save your time and energy. Next, consider the following statements: laser pulses are generated by the spontaneous emission of photons. Actually, please remember one thing, in your childhood you might have studied that laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, right. So, it is not a spontaneous emission of photons, it is stimulated emission of photons, right, and laser is very sharp, coherent and produce a monochromatic beam of light, and it can pass through any kind of substance in electromagnetic through any not only visible rays, but also other rays in the electromagnetic spectrum. So, laser is very sharp, coherent and focused, therefore, you can witness any object in the shape of the object by reflecting the light by penetrating such kind of laser light. So, such reflection of light can give you a shape of an object. Usually it looks very funny in nature, but it is the core fundamental nature of the physics, basic physics, that you have to understand, that whatever you see, that is seen by the reflection of the light in front of your eyes. Okay. Coming to actual findings of these Nobel Prize winners is, how will you assess the speed of the electron and its process and functioning when it has immense fast orbiting, I mean the fastest orbiting around the nucleus of an atom, right. Nucleus, that is that contains protons and neutrons, you might have studied in your childhood. Okay. The the speed of electrons is around 2200 kilometers per second, and it is fast enough to get around Earth, I mean it can orbit around Earth within 18 seconds. So, how can you measure it in the form of, see the third statement is talking about, see how can you assess the shape of this electron, how can you understand the function of this electron, that is subatomic particles. See, in conventional or classical physics it is quite difficult, and it was actually neglected that they haven't found any shape of the subatomic particles. However, in the modern physics, particle physics, which is incorporating such quantum physics, and they are understanding the shape of the micro particles which are causing to the formation of the atom and other molecules. Next, an attosecond, that is the third statement, an attosecond is an extremely short unit of time equal to 1/20th of a second. 1/20th means 1 by 10 to the power of 18th part of the time. This is a time interval which can understand even fractions of a substance which is revolving at a faster pace, like electron which is moving around any object which is moving around any object. Electron which is any object means the nucleus which is having the proton and neutron. Okay. Any object that may contain the atoms, right. So, in this atom you will be having electrons which are revolving around or orbiting around this nucleus part. So, while revolving, it is having the immense speed and the fastest orbiting speed. That velocity and the velocity may prevent scientists to understand its shape and its orientation and its structural or functional element, right. Therefore, these scientists have understood at which time interval we can penetrate our laser beam of light to understand actual orientation, shape and structure of this electron. This laser beam of light can help you to understand the electron at which time interval it is possible. That is the findings that you can witness in this article, right. The scientists have found at which time interval we can pass or penetrate such a laser beam of light. The time interval can be measured in 1/20th part, 1/20th part, that means 1 by 10 to the power of 18, 10 power of minus 18 of a second. Okay. This is what the third statement is talking about. Okay. An attosecond is an extremely short unit of time equal to 1/20th of a second. It is used in the field of ultra fast optics, laser physics to measure incredibly brief time intervals such as the time scale associated. So, incredibly brief time intervals can also be measured by this 1 attosecond. This attosecond is equivalent to 1 quintillionth. Okay, usually billion part, trillion part, likewise you will see, but here 1 quintillionth, 10 to the power of 18th part. Okay, so of a second. However, it is in the stage of development, this time interval can help the the physics experts, scientists, to understand the actual orientation only, but it is quite difficult to understand the entire particle physics at the present situation, and this kind of research has been going on. Okay, this particle physics in the modern physics as part of this Higgs boson particle, which is also discussed in the UPSC in 2018, they have given as a mains question, right? You please go through that mains question too. And what is meant by this laser? Laser pulse can emit a beam of light which is monochromatic, extremely focused and coherent and intense in nature, and it has only brief duration. It is talking a brief duration, making them valuable tools in various applications, and here also it can be applied. Okay. And coming to, as far as physicists currently know, electrons have no internal structure and thus no shape in the classical meaning of this word. In the classical physics, they feel that there may be no structure for this kind of fast moving orbiting electrons. However, in the modern language of physics, which tackles the behavior of objects smaller than an atomic nucleus in this modern, and they are foundational blocks of matter that are continuously fluid in nature. Okay. And they are, which are in continuously fluid in nature, are called quantum fields. Therefore, this electron which is fast moving object around the orbit can also be coming under this quantum physics umbrella, right. So, quantum physics is nothing but which can permeate whole space around us. See, okay. So, it can also help you to study fast moving orbiting objects. So, this time interval can help you at which time you can focus a beam of light. This time interval. This is what the scientists have found. I think I might have conveyed the basic foundational observation of the findings that was actually written in this article, and this basic understanding will help you to answer this kind of questions, because previously they have asked about laser assisted in situ keratomilase. This kind of a technical question was also asked by UPSC, but it is fundamental in nature. Your fundamental understanding of basic science is also important to understand the current happenings, which is asked by UPSC, like Higgs boson particle in 2018 mains, and also in preliminary examination UPSC 2010 has asked this kind of fundamental questions, right. Laser pulses are coherent, emit intense focus, right. The second statement is correct, but I have explained the third statement, which is actually an element of this kind of article, which is actually the core part of this article, that is so the recent Nobel Prize winners found out, right. And next, coming to our next article,